Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. I've been going through a series of video presentations I'm creating for the Rankin Technical College AWD Application and Web Development 1111 .NET Framework with Web Databases class. The main textbook we're using for the class is ASP.NET MVC with Entity Framework and CSS by Lee Naylor, as shown in the textbook right, on the screenshot or whatever right here. That book is quite complex in nature, so I am first going over a different book called Professional ASP.NET MVC 5 by John Galloway of Microsoft and a host of others. That book much of it is predicated on using the ASP.NET MvcMusicStore. Music Store. Alright, so I've been going over that and trying to update it, upgrade it to MVC 5. I've already done Part 1, the overview and creating the project, Part 2, controllers, Part 3, views and view models, Part 4, models and data access, Part 5, edit forms and templating, and Part 6, data annotations and model validation. Part 7 is on membership and authentication. And this is not a long article. It is about 9 pages in length. But it's going to be even shorter because, to my knowledge, much of the stuff that's in here is no longer the way that it's done. Hopefully you realized when we created the project what we got created for us, all right, when we set it up as an MVC project, is we immediately got an account controller and a manage controller. And that, to my knowledge, by using something that's called ASP.NET.identity.owen, which we'll talk about in just a couple minutes, all right, it's replaced a lot of that, to my knowledge. So I'm not going to go over any of this. All right? Why? Because to my knowledge, no one any longer uses this ASP.NET configuration site, this right here. I've used it in the past where we set up roles and the like. I don't think that's the way that it's done anymore. Now, ASP.NET Website Administration Tool. ASP.NET Website Administration Tool. All right, and it's got here Visual Studio 2015. It says, where is the website administration on Visual Studio 2015? All right. Says you can get it, and I'm not going to run through this stuff by going here and then launching it. All right, let's see. So it is still possible to use it. Now, so what I did was I went out to, first of all, looked on Google, and I did, and I found this, how to do authentication, authorization in ASP.NET MVC. I mean, look at the spelling there, but I started to go through it. It looked like it was pretty good. Notice it's about 25 minutes long. This gentleman, Tim Corey, has a lot of stuff that he puts out there. So I'm just going to literally go to his, and I'm not going to...
Creating an ASP.NET MVC...
I'm not going to bring it up, but I'm going to go over here to I am Tim Corey and show you that if we look, he's got a lot of stuff for C# and for ASP.NET. Okay? There's an intro to ASP.NET that he did 11 months ago, so it's current.
Routes. And there's our routes.
And you'll notice that he has 1,600 likes and 32 dislikes. So it must be pretty good. Or he's got a lot of friends that do it for him. I don't know. But so these were some of the videos that were out here on authorization and authentication. Okay, close that. I'm going to leave that one up for now. I went out to Microsoft, msdn.microsoft.com, and typed in authentication and authorization. This is an old article back from 2011, but looking for something that's a little, more up to date, I went to ASP.NET, which is Microsoft's ASP.NET site, found this ASP.NET identity. Okay, thought that I clicked on one of them. Maybe I didn't. So here's an introduction to ASP.NET identity. That would probably, again, it's 2013. But they talk about membership. Probably in here someplace they talk, there it is. They talk about OWIN, which is an acronym. All right. And, well, let's do this. What is OWIN? It's the Open Web Interface for .NET. All right, go to owin.org. It defines a standard interface between .NET web services and web applications. The goal of the OWIN interface is to decouple, or, kind of not break, but make as loose a relationship as possible between the server and the application. All right, I'm not going to go through any of that. I've never looked at that before. All right, this was the lazy loading we talked about earlier. That's an error I got before. That's their creates. This is what I just showed you. So, in the class that we are teaching, all right, if we go back and we look at this book right here, which is going to be our main book, and I go in there and take a quick look, you'll notice that chapter 7 is literally 100 pages long. It's on authentication and authorization using ASP.NET identity. I've already done a long series. I haven't done all the ones in this book, but if you go out to my YouTube channels, and you should know where it is because that's where this video is. But if I go out there, all right, to my YouTube channel, all right, which again, if you care, if you don't, you're not hurting my feelings any. Oops. There it is. Did a bit bigger. All right. If you go out there right now, there's 78 videos, and actually after this one, there'll be 82. Okay. But the reason I'm telling you that is if you look, here's the MVC Movie Store, the ones that I'm doing now. All right. But before that, we've got the Nailer text. So notice for chapter 7, I did 8 presentations where I tried to go over as much as possible all of the code that was in chapter 7. All right, so I'm right now, out of the 18 chapters, I'm in the beginning of chapter 9. So I hope to go back to those shortly. Okay. By the time the semester starts, my guess is, and I don't know for sure, but there'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of probably around 125 to 150 videos. All right, and there's 78 right now. All right. That's really all that I want to say for now about Part 7, okay, membership and authorization. So I'm not going to go through any of that. Okay, in the next video, which will be tomorrow morning, I'm going to jump into Part 8, shopping cart with AJAX updates. Now, we'll talk about that. You'll see it in action. But I do want to mention that, again, going back to the book that we're going to use for the class, notice that after we go through Chapter 7, all right, we will go through creating a shopping basket in Chapter 8. Also, be cognizant of the fact that in this Galloway book, Chapter 8 is all on AJAX. In this Galloway book, you may or may not care, but I just wanted, I'm trying to show you this stuff for completeness. Cut that down. There we go. I'm going to go through in this book these chapters. So I'm going to do presentations for getting started. In fact, I've already done 2. Controllers, views, models, forms and HTML helpers, data annotations and validation. Notice chapter 7 again. Okay? Membership, authorization, and security, AJAX, and routing. I'm going to skip chapter 10 on NuGet. I'm going to skip chapter 11 on ASP.NET Web API. I'm going to skip chapter 12 on single page applications with AngularJS. I'm going to skip chapter 13 on dependency injection, but I am going to do 14, 15, and 16. Chapter 14 so we can discuss unit testing. Chapter 15 so we can discuss extending MVC, and chapter 16 so we can discuss advanced topics. So I do not plan on making presentations for any of these 4 chapters. Does that mean for sure I won't do it? Again, as always, it depends on my time. All right? So when I come back in just a couple minutes, I'm going to jump into part 8, and I shouldn't say in a couple minutes, it'll be tomorrow morning, but I'm going to jump into part 8 of 10. So we'll do the shopping cart and AJAX updates. I hope to do that tomorrow. All right. And if there's time, I also tomorrow hope to do, part 9, which is registration and checkout. That'll leave us only, and if there's time, I'll do that also, with part 10, where the author talks about final updates to the navigation and site design and concludes this series of 10 articles. Okay, so I'll be back with that tomorrow.